Salute my amplified unit. Good morning, top of the morning. If it's really early where you guys are right now, all apologies. This is the only time I have to say these words to cut this podcast for you guys and to honor, remember, and celebrate Windham Rotunda. I already canceled plans for my birthday weekend way before this news came out. Just a lot of business was mounting up and it has to be taken care of, so this was a good weekend to do it. So I was around the office studio, this news breaks, and I knew it didn't matter how early it was. I knew we had to talk about it. So for the thousands of you guys that are going to catch this after we're live, man, much love and respect. This is the only time we could do this. Playback is good for you guys. So if you don't mind, I'm going to go switch over to the earbuds so I can get my own playback. So I'm not on a delay, because that's how this works. I don't really have a script to go over right now, guys. This isn't like a review show where I have a bunch of notes. So we're just going to kind of wing it as we try to find the words to get through such a catastrophe like losing Bray Wyatt. Check. All right, that's pretty good. Hello, everybody. Salute. Impromptu live stream podcast. If you're going to find this channel, just because you're just searching up Bray Wyatt, you came across this channel. Salute, welcome. My name is BC Amplified. Controversial figure in the wrestling world, but that doesn't even matter right now, because what matters is the family of Bray Wyatt, Windham Rotunda, JoJo, his 4 kids, because it ain't just Nash 6 and his brand new Hyrie Vaughn was just born a couple years ago, correct? But he has 2 others with Samantha, his first wife, as well. So 4 kids, I believe. JoJo, who's only 29 years old, they just got engaged and married. So, you know what I mean? Like, that's where it is just... I'm still comprehending it. There's going to be a lot of maybe pauses. Maybe I'm really trying to think of the right words to say. Maybe that's going to be the full... I hope this doesn't go too long. I really want this to be tucked in within an hour. But I know there was a bunch of super chats that already came in, so that'll extend the podcast because I want to give the proper shout outs to you guys and hear what you guys are saying about this tragic situation. So what I would like to say is somebody said there was a GoFundMe or something like that to help out JoJo, like from the actual family. If that's true, JR9 Gaming, are you up in here? My right-hand man on the channel. Yes, there's JR9 Gaming. Or anybody that's already got a way to find that. Guys, I appreciate the coffees. It's never needed. I appreciate the coffees via the super chats. It's never needed. I'm going to have plenty of coffees. I'm wearing fancy schmancy watches. I got Tommy Bahama shirts and vintage Italian and Irish flat caps. I'm good. The appreciation of the coffee is great. What I would like to do is if you guys want to send over some coffees, send them over to JoJo, Bray Wyatt's family, his kids, man. Send that over to them, and really let's make that meaningful and special. Let's make sure that JoJo and those kids don't have to worry 10, 15, 20 years from now and beyond. Or maybe there isn't one, and I just heard there is one. JR9, are you... Well, if there is one, guys, somebody will find it in the chat. Send any coffees that you were going to chuck over at the channel. Send them over there, dude. I appreciate it. You can still send BC a coffee. That's fine. It's not needed. JoJo, those kids, if that's already been set up, please do that, man. Because that's what you have to start thinking. That revenue doesn't come in anymore. And JoJo now has those two kids. The other two kids that he had with Samantha, those are now, she looks at them like kids as well. Her own. Everybody's going to struggle, man. So we got to make sure that, exactly right, guys. So I just wanted to get that out of the way, too. I'm comprehending this because that's my dude. Guys, to me, wrestling it's my love, it's my passion. I don't know if I'm ever going to be one of those dudes that just stops watching like my brother did, who got me into wrestling when I was very young. And so many people that I know, they fell out of love with it, right? They grew up or whatever they want to say, even though wrestling is for everybody. It's entertainment at the core. But for me, man, over the years, every wrestler started to look the same, sound the same. They all do the trampoline moves they do in the backyard. But we were missing larger-than-life characters. Larger-than-life was gone. And I was instantly captivated to Bray Wyatt because he was larger than life. He may not get Meltzer's 5, 7, or 10, 15, 20 stars. Who knows how many Melty Boy is going to give out to All In this weekend. No, Bray wasn't that dude. Bray made you feel something. Bray made you put down that remote even if you didn't feel your hand drop. Windham Rotunda made you think outside the box because Windham Rotunda lived outside the box. Bray Wyatt was one of those dudes when you can say you don't like him, you don't like Supernatural in pro wrestling, he's making it all fake, faker than it is. He's what's wrong in pro wrestling, and then you'll turn right around and you'll watch every second. And we know that via the ratings, the metrics, the numbers. The vocal minority, they spoke loud, but the majority stomped it out. And we saw in the numbers, there was only one person over the last several years to get numbers like Roman Reigns and even beat Roman Reigns. 3 times in the ratings, twice in merchandise sales. His name, Bray Wyatt, Windham Rotunda. So they can say that he's the worst gimmick of 2020. You were wrong, Meltzer. That's the same year of Retribution. Let's not act like we didn't know that. But no, they saw him getting white lightning hot again, so they had to muffle, stuff down any momentum that Bray Wyatt had. So they called him the worst gimmick. They said Supernatural is what is turning people away in droves. And you look at the numbers, and he was the one bringing them all in. When the rest of the show would completely suck, you would get a 60-second Firefly Funhouse. That would be the only entertaining part of the show. Bray Wyatt was larger than life. And MJF said it best one day in a promo. I've said this several times on this channel. All Elite Wrestling, if you don't watch, big wrestler over there, their champion MJF, Maxwell Jacob Freeman. He stood in the ring and he said, yeah, I don't do all the flips and the dives. I don't get the 5, 10-star matches. You don't do all the this is awesomes and the fight forevers. I make you feel something, though. I don't need to do all that to get a reaction. I make you feel something. And MJF basically lives that character 24/7. He's the guy that'll flip off your little kid when they go to get an autograph from MJF. And then he'll tell your parents to fuck off. Bray Wyatt, for the most part, on his social doohickey machine, he was that character. Bray Wyatt was larger than life, so it was not that hard to believe that that was BC's number one. I fought for that dude. I've had this channel over 5 years now. And I fought for that dude every single podcast, every vid that was put up. I fought for that dude with everybody saying, oh, it's old, it's stale. You go into a Bray feud, you come out even worse. LA Knight would like to say that's wrong. Yeah. LA Knight came out white lightning hot. Even Mountain Dew could not dim the shine of LA Knight or Bray Wyatt. I fought for that dude because I saw something that we all needed in pro wrestling. A larger-than-life dude that made you feel something. That's not shade to those fans that like the flips and the dives. You can get Vikingo versus Kenny Omega. You can get Ali versus Ricochet. Best of 7 matches. That's great. You'll see all the moves. 16 Canadian Destroyer, 17 super kicks, a 764, 59, 54, 5, 2 plancha splash. Maybe from the top of a cage. That's awesome. I'm not even throwing shade. I'll take that too. That could be entertaining. But why not do it with storylines that matter and with characters that make you feel something larger than life? Everybody looks the same these days. They talk the same. Nobody thinks outside the box, and they don't dare go outside the box and take the risk. Bray Wyatt refused to change for anybody. He took a lot of shit for it. And I hope he knows just how much he was praised for it. Because on this channel, that's what we always did. My Amplified unit will always tell you, I always said this is a pro Bray Wyatt channel. Said that about Sasha Banks as well. This is a pro Bray channel. You cannot like Bray, and we'd still have you. Welcome on in. Love to have you. Welcome to the Amplified unit. You don't like Bray Wyatt. That's cool. It's going to be a rough time on the channel for you because we're going to talk so positively of Bray Wyatt. But this was a pro Bray Wyatt channel. When everybody else gave up on him, turned their backs on him, when he was the only one willing to try to actually entertain us, and they turned their backs on him. Not on this channel. We love that son of a bitch. We will never forget that son of a bitch because you cannot, because he was that damn talented. He was that damn charismatic. He was that damn good. He was that damn larger than life. You walk by, and this is not shade, you walk by Ali, you walk by Finn Balor, you walk by Vikingo, you walk by Matt and Nick Jackson, you walk by Philip CM Punk Brooks, and you probably walk right by them in the supermarket. You don't even think twice that they're a pro wrestler. But you walk by Bray Wyatt, and I assure you, you know you just walked by Bray motherfucking Wyatt. Larger than life. It's the reason The Undertaker passed that torch over to Bray Wyatt, stood in that ring, one of Taker's last appearances in a WWE ring, and he turns and he whispers something right into Bray Wyatt's ear, and Bray Wyatt said, it is something that validates his entire career. That's what he said. When The Undertaker passes the torch to you, and says, you're up. Damn. Goosebumps. Sadly, he never got the chance. Not long after, we no longer saw Bray Wyatt. He was out with an undisclosed illness. Some people just wanted to push a Vince McMahon narrative. It's Vince! He left because of Vince! It's gotta be Vince! Because if you wake up and your car doesn't start, it's Vince McMahon. If it's raining out, it's Vince McMahon. If you got food poisoning, it's Vince McMahon. If you got a flat tire, it's Vince McMahon. If your wife is fucking your neighbor, it's Vince McMahon. They didn't want to just say, dude, let's just pray for Bray. Let's hope for the best for Bray. Something's not right. But no, we wanted to play Vince McMahon is the evil man, and everybody's running away. But not on this channel. We hoped for the best. We knew something was wrong. Way beyond Vincent Kennedy McMahon. This was going way beyond professional wrestling or some silly Raw or SmackDown show. Sean Ross Sapp was able to recently, with permission, he made it clear to say, confirm that it was a heart attack via the CO. Contracted the CO. Been battling it for months. Was on the road to recovery. And I can only assume that he was working out, getting amped up. The hamster started spinning upstairs, the wheel. The hamster was on the wheel, spinning, and Bray kicked into overdrive. A lot of people say that Bray Wyatt could never really turn it off. He was always thinking about the next thing and always on to the next. Subconsciously stressing. And that was probably too much for his heart to take. Windham Rotunda, Bray Wyatt, has passed away at the age of 36, 1987 to 2023, via a heart attack. He leaves behind his wife JoJo, 29 years old, and his 4 kids, 2 with JoJo, Nash 6, and Hyrie Vaughn. He leaves behind his brother Taylor Rotunda, known to us as Bo Dallas. His father, Mike Rotunda, known to us as IRS. Of course, his uncle was Barry Windham, grandfather, Blackjack Mulligan, true multi-generational talent. We're going to talk about Bray. There's 2 things that this should be obvious. WWE does not need fans to tell them this. 2 things need to happen. Number 1, tonight's SmackDown. Bray Wyatt tribute. It's just what it is. A lot of us can't stand that, including BC, because it's depressing AF. But this has to be Bray Wyatt's 2 hours. You cannot, if it's this tough for the fans, how do you think it is with his brothers and sisters that are going to compete tonight? You think they want to carry any semblance of a shitty half-ass storyline? No, just go out there and honor Bray. Let the wrestlers talk about Bray. Let's honor him the right way. Tonight's SmackDown has to be 2 hours of Bray Wyatt, or I assure you, I will turn that off faster than the Yankees are shitting the season away and not making the playoffs this year. As fast as they are declining, I will change the channel faster. If they're going to try to put on a show and just give a little video package at the beginning. No. This is Bray fucking Wyatt. This is not some simpleton. This is not some scrub from the local indies, which would be bad enough. But this is somebody who gave his all to this business. And I can't say that this business gave it all back to him. The least you can do is give him 2 hours to say, I love you, brother, tonight. No, not 1 hour. Not a half an hour. Not an hour and a half. 2 hours. Tribute show to Bray Wyatt. And while we're at it, honor Terry Funk. But the 2 hour bulk, Bray Wyatt. He meant that much, not just to WWE, but this business, because I assure you, there's a lot of wrestlers that'll be coming through the pipeline that are going to try to emulate or at least imitate Bray Wyatt, Windham Rotunda. And I hope that they can do half as good of the work that he did, because they'll never be able to touch him. 2 hours, that's the first thing that needs to happen. Tonight, 2 hours, Bray Wyatt. Number 2, Philadelphia, WrestleMania. No ifs, ands, or buts. Co-headliner. If not the, at the bare minimum Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame instantly. There's no 1, 2, 5 years. Rey Mysterio still wrestles and this guy's in for a storyline. Hall of Fame. Instantly. Philadelphia WrestleMania 40. It's an anniversary WrestleMania. It's the 40th year. This is where you put him right in. And that's only doing the bare minimum of keeping this dude's legacy alive. And we don't have to do much. His work will do it on his own. TJ Wilson had a great post. TJ Wilson, agent, and he works all the matches, especially with the females. And TJ Wilson said, "You will be," is a quote, "You will be very missed, my friend. You always brought the locker room many, many laughs. I'm grateful for so many special moments we shared at my ring this past year. I can't believe this. The world only saw a glimpse of your creativity. This loss is immeasurable." End quote. TJ Wilson is correct. This loss is immeasurable. This hits so hard because he was one of the biggest players in the game. Again, whether you liked him or not doesn't even matter. The metrics, the numbers, the merchandise sale, the statistics, everything had Bray Wyatt just underneath Roman and even beating Roman many times. This was a major player in the game. This was only one of very few larger-than-life individuals. And at 36, just passed away. TJ Wilson says, "The world only saw a glimpse of your creativity." And he's right again. Do you realize that's just 10 years of Bray Wyatt? JR9 Gaming, I believe, 2012, 2013, he debuted on the main roster, correct? 10 years of Bray Wyatt. Put that in perspective. Taker had 30. That was a glimpse of his creativity. And they had to wind him down a lot of the times. Vincent Kennedy and Paul Levesque McMahon, they had to turn him away on many ideas. Because he was so out of the box, always thinking, always wanting to be uber creative because he knew the company wasn't going to be. 2013 is what my chat is saying, I believe. So 10 years. Not even. We're not even done with 2023. A little under 10 years. So TJ Wilson says, "We just saw a glimpse of his creativity. That was just scratching the surface. You think that was just what Bray has? No. Just scratching the surface." TJ Wilson says something interesting. He says, You always brought the locker room many, many laughs, and I'm grateful for so many special moments we shared at my ring this past year." Was he getting back into ring shape with TJ Wilson? And maybe Natty was in there, right? The wife of TJ. Possible. Because other than that, he was only getting ready for the Rumble match. So unless he means just a few days in January, he said all of those days we shared at my ring this past year, maybe that's who he was training with to get back to the ring. WWE's official statement is as follows. Levesque McMahon, Paul Levesque McMahon, I call him. His message was, he said, "I got a call from WWE Hall of Famer Mike Rotunda." Guys, correct it. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't believe he's a Hall of Famer, first of all. So I don't know why that was needed. This was not the time to just pump up WWE propaganda. I just got a call from WWE Hall of Famer Mike Rotunda. Was that really needed, bro? Get to the point. And on top of that, I don't even think he is a Hall of Famer. Because this company didn't even put Mike Rotunda in the Hall of Fame yet. And I don't know how. That's another story, and this podcast is not about that. We really want to stay on subject. But no, Paul Levesque, you should probably know who is in your Hall of Fame and who is not. But with this dude, I'm not even surprised. And you say, well, BC, his mind was probably all over the place. Then why put propaganda in the message? Was that really needed? I just got off the phone with WWE Hall of Famer. You did not get off the phone with WWE Hall of Famer. Mike Rotunda. You got off the phone with the father, IRS, Mike Rotunda of Bray Wyatt, Windham Rotunda. Stop. Everything this company does has to turn into propaganda. Promoting something. No, you should put Mike Rotunda in the Hall of Fame because Bray Wyatt's father deserves to be there because the small time he had as IRS eclipses 10 years of most of the talent today because they don't interest or captivate most of us. So yeah, IRS should already be in the Hall of Fame. But Paul Levesque McMahon breaks this to everybody. Not even in the right way. WWE has to then come out and make an official statement. This is what WWE says. And you are gone. Anti-Triple H. If Anti-Triple H is calling out fact from fiction and dropping truth and not saying that everything is a bed of roses, you're damn motherfucking right. Not the time for propaganda and fuck off. Understood? Fuck off. You just got done did fucked off, didn't you? That's what happens. We don't bullshit on this channel. Wrong channel. We don't bullshit here. Not gonna happen. This is not a time for propaganda with an event like this. I'm anti-stupidity. And if you fall under that umbrella, we're going to smack the shit out of you. It's just going to happen. So WWE's official statement. Thank you, Thomas. You're damn right. But some people don't want to believe. Vince McMahon, man. It's all Vince. It's Vince, I tell you. Paul Levesque can do no wrong. And when you preach some facts, they cry about it. Nuh-uh, Beasley! WWE's official statement. WWE is saddened to learn that Windham Rotunda, also known as Bray Wyatt, passed away on Thursday, August 24th, at the age of 36. Known for his captivating performances and incredible in-ring presence, Wyatt was a defining superstar of his generation and accomplished many feats in WWE, including becoming WWE champion in 2017. From his leadership of the Wyatt family alongside Luke Harper and Eric Rowan and Braun Strowman to his enthralling time as The Fiend, Wyatt embarked on an incredible career and saw several iconic rivalries with superstars such as John Cena, Randy Orton, and The Undertaker. WWE extends its condolences to Rotunda's family, friends, and fans. And then WWE announced that any merchandise sold on WWE Shop or maybe at the arenas as well, all proceeds will be going to Wyatt's family, Windham Rotunda's family, JoJo, and the kids. So, that is awesome. That's good. And I hope there's much more headed their way from that company as well. Usually, here we go. Oh, boy. Oh, shit. I'm going to say something positive about Vince. I hope the community doesn't fucking implode, right? Vince McMahon always makes sure that they are taken care of financially. And we just hope that JoJo is the same. And I know she will be. But the merchandise sales and the proceeds from those, that's a really cool thing, man. Because that's going to be big. And you got to think about the kids and going through college and all of that, man. That revenue now stops. Yeah, JR9 Gaming, we're not supposed to talk about that. Right? You can't talk about Vince in a positive way, bro. Not in this community. Oh, no. And trust me, if you're new to the channel, we've ripped Vince McMahon apart for over 5 years. Trust me. We've ripped him apart for justified reasons. But, we can't act like he doesn't We can't act like he's the reason that Bray Wyatt was gone all this time. We can't act like we can blame him for shitty booking like the Hell in a Cell and the all that booking shit with Goldberg and Randy Orton and one RKO at WrestleMania. Okay, some booking, no doubt. But this was a health thing. This was bigger than Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon is absolutely going to make sure that JoJo and his kids are taken care of. So I know I'm not supposed to say that. Or I'm supposed to say Vince doesn't want to do anything. Paul Levesque McMahon wants to give JoJo proceeds and wants to cut a check. I'm supposed to say that. But no, Vince McMahon makes sure that these situations are handled properly. Most likely, I wouldn't doubt if he pays for the Fune as well. But that's WWE's official statement. And that's what they're going to do as well with the proceeds from the merchandise. Mr. Big 200, a 7-month membership, woke up today in hopes that yesterday was just a bad dream. R.I.P. Bray Wyatt. Yeah, it's not Mr. Big 200. Wayface, not true. Wayface, he didn't give up. He just gave him bad. But the booking of Bray was actually good. I can't say bad booking. Firefly Funhouse, all that, you guys may not have liked. A lot of that was Bray's idea, and it was number one in the ratings. So it doesn't matter if we didn't like it or not. Vince fucked him over with the matchups. The actual matches, he would have him lose the matches he should not. Goldberg and Saudi, I think it was. You can't do that. Super Showdown, you cannot do that. Hell in a Cell, ending the way that it did inside of the cell, negates the fact of being into the cell. That you can't do that. One RKO at WrestleMania, Randy, you can't do that. But Vince was always giving him the time. Vince McMahon always let Bray Wyatt go really outside the box. Vince McMahon gave him lots of TV time, but really big matches, even titles. So it's not giving up on him. The booking of Bray Wyatt was a lot from him. It's just when you have them lose matches like that, man, you're really taking a hit. And Vince's philosophy is, well, you'll bounce back. You're Bray Wyatt. You're Bray Wyatt, kid. You're Bray Wyatt. But no, what you're doing is you're saying, all right, well, the next time he talks a big game and then he loses another big match, well, you can't. That's what we said about LA Knight for the longest time. Like, dude, for 7 months now, you gotta finally give him the proper. LA Knight finally said in an interview, I'm so proud of him. I know this is a little bit off topic, but it's staying with Bray Wyatt. LA Knight recently just said about Paul Levesque McMahon. He said, I understand Paul Levesque McMahon. I'm adding the McMahon. He said, I understand there's some trepidation there because what if I am just a flash in the pan? But he said, there comes a line and a point where you have to finally do something. And he says, we've already been at that point. So he's saying that Paul Levesque McMahon has been sitting on my lightning white hot momentum for 7 months and hasn't done shit. I'm so proud of LA Knight for calling out Paul Levesque McMahon. Whoa, not Vince. Paul Levesque. And I know Vince was the Max Dupree. He was the inventor of Max Dupree. So I'm not letting Vince off the hook. But no, he knows that Paul Levesque McMahon was keeping him down. Just in case he's a flash in the pan. Well, after 7 months, you're making him a flash in the pan. Don't make the audience not give a fuck about him. They don't even put him out there for Madison Square Garden SmackDown. They keep him off consecutive big pay-per-views. They have him losing via fruit roll-ups as early as last week. Go over there and play with The Miz for a few months. So finally, LA Knight is like, dude, we're at the line where maybe you want to book me properly. It's the booking in this company sometimes, but other times it's the matches, right? With LA Knight, it's both. With Bray, it was the big matches. He would lose them. And Vince just thought he'll bounce back like nothing. No, we remember that. We're subconsciously taking inventory of it. Yeah, Iman. Yeah, he was rolled up last week, Iman Perry, dude. It was bad. It was bad. We talked about it. That's another story. To Bray Wyatt, guys, this is Billy Graham, Droz, Terry Funk, and Bray Wyatt. And I don't know if I'm missing anybody else. this year for pro wrestlers anyway. But Billy Graham was just a few months ago. Droz, sadly, in his early, mid-tops 50s. But I think early 50s was Drozdov, Darren Drozdov, and then Terry Funk, literally just over the past 2 days, and then Bray Wyatt yesterday. So, Sheik, Iron Sheik, guys. Iron Sheik as well, thank you. So, it's one of those things, man, where it's going to take time to process it. I think for most of us, the news hit last night, but we're still processing it. And I think that's why one of the main reasons I wanted to go live is just shoot the shit, talk it out with you guys, man. This is one of those things where the community just takes a punch in the face, right? I mean, sometimes you got to take an L, you got to take a punch in the face. This is one of those times. As a community, we just got knocked the fuck out, and we took an L. That's fine. And I don't know. Bray Wyatt is so, on this channel, this is a Bray Wyatt channel. That's my dude. People have what they call favorite wrestlers. I don't like to sound corny like that, but Bray would be mine, easily. That was my dude. Nobody captivates me like Bray Wyatt, Windham Rotunda. So I don't know if this is, not only do you get knocked the fuck out as a community, but I don't even know if this is one of those things where we can get up at the count of 10. Carlos up in the chat, man. Good to see you up in here, Carlos. Sucks it's under these circumstances, but Carlos, yeah, this is a bad one, and it's not just bad. This is horrendous. This is the worst for this channel in terms of pro wrestlers. This is the worst. So I don't even know if we as a community will get back up at the count of 10. We might take the L in the matchup, but we will get up. We'll dust ourselves up, and hopefully we will give ourselves better booking in the future. But this is one that could absolutely take us out for the count of 10. John Cena left a very emotional post as well. Devastated, this is John Cena's quote, devastated by the news of the passing of Windham Rotunda. My heart goes out to the entire Rotunda family. Windham brought the best out of me in so many ways. I'm forever grateful for the moments we shared. A sad day for all those he reached around the world. Alexa Bliss says, and I quote, Alexa Bliss says, I'm just in shock. Extremely heartbroken and at a loss for words. What I can say is what an amazing human being Windham is. An amazing and kind friend, one of the most creative minds to ever walk this earth. Windham, you've brought so much joy and happiness to everyone around you. It's going to take me some time to really process this, but sending my love to the Rotunda family, to JoJo and their babies. We love you, Windham. If you guys ever wondered how he is, right? Because you got to get this glimpse of this guy when he's in a rare mood, because he'll be in character 24/7 if he's feeling such. That's what makes him special. But every once in a while, he'll take that guard down and he'll show you just the actual human being that he is. And I remember coming across a little clip. I forgot where it was. And it's one of those things, if you've ever been to a wrestling event, a lot of fans will know the wrestler entrances that they go into and they just say, what's up? They try to get autographs. They try to get some pictures. Well, it was one of those areas. The wrestlers were already in there. Every fan had already left or gone inside for the arena for the show. I don't know. Everybody was gone. This one kid was at the barricade yelling for Bray Wyatt. His family, or at least his father's behind him videoing it. Bray Wyatt came out. Windham Rotunda walked up to the barricade. He's like, what's up, my man? What's your name? I think he said Abe, Gabe. I couldn't really hear, but he tells him his name. Bray doesn't just take a picture on the other side of the barricade. Bray Wyatt proceeds to take the barricade apart, remove the barricade, and he comes across so that the picture is legit with him with his arm over the kid in front of the barricade. Memory of a lifetime. The father or whatever is freaking out. Oh my God, you're tall, man. How tall? How much you weigh, man? How much you weigh? I'm like, dude, it's about the kid, man. Bray's trying to talk to the kid. So now Bray's talking to the people that are videoing. He's giving them massive salutes, man. Big fucking daps. Shooting the shit like they're buddies. And then he turns around and he says, I'll see you in there, Gabe. Or Abe, whatever his name was. I'll see you in there. And the father on camera starts yelling out, he knows your name. He remembered your name. He remembered your name. And you just hear Bray as he's walking off. Of course. I'll see you in there, guys. All cool. And he walks off with a big smile on his face, man. Just genuine. A lot of people, they ask your name just because it's just what you do, right? It's part of the conversation. Get you out of there quicker, right? Most people, guys, you may not want to hear this, but trust me, it's Psychology 101. Most people will hear your name in life, and it'll go in one ear, out the other. Nobody cares. Everybody's on to the next. There's an old story by Hulk Hogan. He says, the reason I say, brother, everybody's brother. He says straight out, it's because I never remembered anybody's name. They would tell me, and it was just gone a second later. He didn't care. Hulk Hogan knew he was the top guy. Everybody is just Jabroni 1, Jabroni 2, and so on. And that's not shade, man. Hulk Hogan is one of the reasons I got so big into pro wrestling. But everybody was brother. He doesn't remember them. Bray Wyatt, he turned around even after having that conversation with those gentlemen. And he tells the kid, by name, see you in there. Just how he is. How he was with Matt Hardy's kids and everybody's kids when they would come to shows. How he was with his own kids. That's Windham Rotunda. That's why I say it's not just remembering or honoring. It's celebrating, not just the career, but the life. How he lived it of Windham Rotunda. Everybody in that locker room, if you hear all these stories from the wrestlers themselves, they all tell you what a smile he always carried. How he was always lighting up a room or a joy to be around or making people laugh. I can tell you not everybody's like that. BC's not. I walk into 17 Starbucks a day, and guess what? I'm not in the most best of moods mostly, right? I got a lot of business on my mind, a lot to get to, and there's only 24 hours a day. So my fucking delts are putting people into walls. I'm mean mugging. The barista's fucking up my coffee. I wanna put a Batista bomb onto that son of a bitch through the coffee table. But no. I'm gonna take the coffee. I'm gonna give a little bit of a smirk, a little smile, throw the little tip, and I'm just gonna get the fuck out and hope that the coffee is semi-decent. Right? So I'll be the first to say even BC can be a little bit nicer, a little better. Bray, I'm not sure he needed to do that. He already was. It's hard for BC because that's my dude. So it hits different. But even if you weren't a Bray fan, I'm sure you guys know the magnitude of what this guy meant to the business. And how much time he still had. He only was scratching the surface, brah. Only scratching the surface. And I think the funnier thing what's up with the laughing emojis? What was the joke in the chat? What's the laughing emojis about? Where's the joke? I want to know. I want in on it now. Did BC say something funny, or was it about the coffee? Power bombing baristas. I don't actually do it. Don't worry. I don't actually power bomb baristas, guys. Don't worry. There's times I want to. You clearly see them fucking up your latte. Maybe that's what it was. But it's the truth. We all could do a little better, right? We all could be a little better. I guess we all could smile more and be appreciative more. Not take so many things for granted. I'm sure a lot of us, if we stopped and checked ourselves, we could absolutely do that and should be. It's cool to know that that dude never had to have that regret. Canada man, Bray is and always will be a true legend, personified, bro. I didn't want this to go that long, but Travis, I appreciate that, brother. Up in the chat, Travis. Thank you, dude. Remember those words, though. I'll piss you off at times too, and you'll trust me, because I don't agree with a certain take, and people will cry. Fuck off, Beasley. No, thank you. You can though. I can help you out with that shit, right? So, Travis, I appreciate that you're you're the type of person the amplified unit will take in, man. People that can talk these conversations and decipher fact from fiction, truth from just what is not. Yeah, I feel for Bo Dallas. Somebody brought up Bo Dallas in the chat. It was kind of going a little fast for me, but Bo Dallas was, Uncle Howdy. Whether you liked it or not doesn't matter. I mean, Bo Dallas was in line for something bigger, obviously, for 2023. He got derailed from this. And then when you think of just outside of pro wrestling, this dude just lost his brother. I hope that's not the end of Bo. I want to see more of Bo Dallas, guys. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I think absolutely. I'm not saying he's got to come back as Uncle Howdy, guys. But I would bring back Bo Dallas and really give this dude something special. Bo Dallas can go in that ring. You guys remember what he did in NXT? I'm not going to give you a history lesson, but this guy was a champ, bro. So I hope that when the dust settles and we can make or try to just get some semblance of calm after that, I hope that we do see Bo Dallas in the future. He was NXT champ, Pimp Jesus, and a damn good one, too, from what I remember. But JoJo, yeah, somebody brought up JoJo in the chat. JoJo is one of those things, man. You're talking about somebody who just had 2 kids with Bray, with Windham, and is only 29 years old. I don't think she's 30 yet. And she had her whole... They just got engaged and married within the last year to 2. Engaged and married, I believe, within the same time frame, year to 2 years, just recently. So I don't even know how... I mean, for JoJo... And his kids are what, 4 and 2? 3 and 4? Something like that, right? I mean, very young, both under 5, I believe. 2 other kids with Samantha that are a little older. But you think about that shit, you don't even comprehend... You don't even comprehend it. Still engaged. Yeah, because they were just engaged last year, right? I forget. Maybe 2022 they were engaged. And then the marriage was coming after. I let the wrestlers do their own thing. I don't pry. You know what I mean? Once they make the announcements, then we can celebrate with them. But, yeah, the engagement, something like that was just last year, man. And they had their whole life ahead of them together. And it just, you can't even comprehend something like that. And I don't know if we're going to, but I was hoping that this live stream will to at least talk about it. Like this Bray Wyatt, man. Like you hear the news. It's one of those things where you'll always remember what you were doing, right? Like I had to cancel my birthday plans for the weekend because I have so much business that's stacked up. I have to take care of it. So I'm literally listening to what is called the Michael K radio show. Don't even have time to watch TV or anything else. I'm literally doing business out in the world listening to a radio show. It's called the Michael K show. He's the voice of the Yankees. And Peter Rosenberg is the co-host. Now, if you don't know who Peter Rosenberg is, he does a lot of the kickoff shows for WWE pay-per-views. So Peter Rosenberg stopped the whole radio show. And he just started going, oh no. Michael K's like, what is it? and Peter Rosenberg, and I'm going to town on these fucking on all this. I'm trying to write like 5 pages in like 6 minutes that have to be sent out. And he just says that Bray Wyatt passed, and I'm like, whoa, hold the fuck up. This isn't just like any wrestler. Did you just say one of the biggest wrestling names? And he's only been there 10 years, but in the history of pro wrestling, you could put Bray Wyatt in that category, no question, of one of the biggest names that you could have possibly heard has just passed away at the age of 36. It's one of those things where you'll truly always kind of remember where you were when that news broke. And on this channel, it's the most devastating you can get. That's my dude. That was my guy, Bray Wyatt. Now that he's gone, I don't know. There's nobody else who I can look at and say that's my number one in pro wrestling. There's nobody. There's guys I like that do kayfabe the proper way and live their character for the most part. People like MJF. But there's nobody that stands out larger than life like Bray Wyatt. So I don't know, now that I know he's not coming back. And that pales in comparison to JoJo in the way that she is thinking about him not coming back. But in wrestling terms, I don't know if it can ever be the same. He was the last one, the last of the Mohicans. He was the last one that truly got this wrestling thing, that you need the characters and the storylines, and you need to make people feel. You need to go outside that box. Wrestling was already struggling to captivate audiences before. You lose somebody like Bray. And again, I haven't even really processed. So, obviously this is something that we'll be talking about going forward. Wrestling-wise, what do they do now with Bo Dallas? What happens when Alexa Bliss does come back and all that stuff? What's the tribute like tonight? It better be the full 2 hours. Do they put him immediately into the Hall of Fame? That's all wrestling talk. IRL, JoJo, his kids. Mike Rotunda, IRS, his father. Somebody I respect greatly. His entire family. That's where your thoughts, your prayers, your love, any coffees that you're throwing, BC, chuck them over to. I don't even know if it's legit or not. Somebody told me that JoJo or at least Wyatt's family, Windham Rotunda, they set up a donation fund. Send those coffees over to there, man. Let's put those kids through college, and let's make sure JoJo doesn't have to worry about that at least. Let me see just what you guys... Let me bring you guys into the convo, because I don't want to just talk in circles for 3 hours, but that's just the type of... it's this type of situation that it is. Jimmy Fingers, 19, 7-month membership. BC, can't produce a rational thought at this time, but when I can, I will articulate it in some super thanks later. I'm gutted for now. Jay Briscoe and Bray, just too much. Funk and so many others on top of it, Jimmy Fingers. But yeah, bro... we're all in that category right now. Same boat. Nobody's really processing it the right way, for sure. Ray Hunt, 7-month membership. As a father, I feel for those kids that will never see their dad come through those doors again. As we speak, I'm struggling to hold back tears. It's because we just can't really comprehend it. It's almost like a denial. And then you almost get angry, too, right? You get angry with so many things, and we could have done this different, and we could have done that different, but you can't, man. That's just the way that life, it's a roller coaster. Takara Turner, 2-spot. The wrestling world has lost a true genius personified. Nobody got it like Bray. Nobody was unafraid to go outside the box and be uber creative and take those risks like Bray. Nobody. And that's one of the saddest things that you think about. Let me go over to, before we started the podcast, there was a 10-spot from Sam Byers, who was also an 8-month member. Sam Byers, I appreciate your membership, brother, on the channel, and the salute. the appreciation you show it. Sam Byer says, R.I.P. Terry Funk and Bray Wyatt, both no doubt. And even though we should be seeing a Bray Wyatt 2-hour tribute special tonight, Terry Funk will absolutely and should be praised as well. Because Terry Funk, an absolute legend in this industry. Muhammad Isa, 5-spot. I wish people had appreciated him more. I'd have him inducted into the Hall of Fame next year as the head inductee. Rest in peace, Bray Wyatt. Muhammad, I agree. I actually brought that up a couple times in this live stream podcast. I think he should be the headliner or at the bare minimum, the least, the co-headliner. But absolutely, we're not going to wait on this. WrestleMania 40, the anniversary, right? The nice whole number there, 40 in Philadelphia. Bray Wyatt immediately becomes a Hall of Famer. A. Merrick, 5-spot coffee. I can't miss this one. R.I.P. Bray. The wrestling world took a huge gut punch. I still can't process it. Hug your loved ones, guys. Life does not wait. I've been saying that several times. I don't think we're going to be able to truly process it for a while, A. Merrick. It's of that magnitude. Mark Chisholm, $9.99. Look, guys, let me BC gets a little choked up talking about it, man. Let me get a swig of my coffee that I've been waiting to have for almost an hour. Salute you guys. Mark, I'll get to your super chat in just 1 second, man. Salute to every single one of you guys. I know we went on the air live. I had already canceled a birthday little mini getaway for this weekend. It's birthday week for BC, but there was a lot of business, so I had to cancel that. I was around the office studio, and I wanted to carve out time, and this was the only time to do it very early. So for a lot of you guys, it was probably really early in the morning, but I appreciate you guys spending some time with BC and just talking about one of the icons, legends, almost mythical beings, but he was very real. Bray Wyatt. Mark Chisholm says, with a 10-spot, I'd be lying if I said that I didn't sob my eyes out, especially after one of my friends pulled up the promo that Bray made when he returned to WWE last year in October. I can't watch that again. Yeah, there was many of them. I think that one of the first ones is when he was saying, like, this is me, this is the real me, this is me. Not behind a mask, this is the smile I finally get to show you guys. Things like that, you know, and it makes you go back. WWE, AEW, Marvel fan. Hold on, man. All right, sorry about that. WWE, AEW, Marvel fan says, with a 10-spot, when I was at my mother's wedding rehearsal, someone told me that Bray Wyatt had passed away. I couldn't believe them at first. When I heard the news, it crushed my heart to many pieces. So this is what I mean when I say, like, this is of such big magnitude that you're going to pretty much know where you were when this news broke. 10, 20 years from now, you'll know. And for WWE, AEW, Marvel fan, man, he was at his mother's wedding rehearsal. Mother walks by and says, what, why the look on your face? You know, try to explain that. And the way that I'm seeing it covered in the news is that people knew, even if you didn't watch wrestling, you knew this was not just a wrestler name that passed away. Bray Wyatt, man, that resonated. I mean, it was all over the place, still is right now. That's the magnitude. Like, Bray Wyatt, you may not put him in the category of Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Undertaker. Guess what? The world told you differently. It's like a lot of people saying that he just doesn't work, though, right? Supernatural is bad, it's boring. Wyatt isn't working, but then you see the numbers and the ratings and all that, and it shows you, wait, it actually was. Bray Wyatt is a massive deal. WWE, AEW, Marvel fan, salute, brother. Jane Donnelly, 10 spots. Such a tragedy. The wrestling world has lost a beautiful soul and a creative genius. Much love and prayers to Bray Wyatt's family. R.I.P. Bray. I always felt that Bray Wyatt watched the channel. There was these little things that he would do. And back when I would I don't know how I found time, but would get on the social doohickey machine. So this is way back. And people would argue, because I was always defending Bray, and people would argue with one another about Bray's booking or this and that. And it would be on something that I had posted up. And Bray would actually come in. Bray would respond. And Bray would say, like, why am I being brought up into this? Not that I did. I would never tag him or anything. But other people were bringing him into it. So Bray would always come on and start, like... Now, I easily could have, because it was my content, I could have easily, like, said, hey, Bray, while you're here, what's up, man? Big fan, much love, whatever, yada, yada. I never wanted to do that. I always felt like there was a mutual respect. Bray knew BC Amplified, or at least of the channel, knew that I was a big supporter and knew that I was always rocking with him. And I know that because of how many times he would get into those chats. So, and I never like took it a step further and like exposed that or anything and tried to talk to him. No, it was like a unspoken thing, right? I know how special he is. He knows that I'm in his corner. And when you say Jane Donnelly, that he was a beautiful soul and a creative genius, one of the running jokes that I have, and I don't know if it's a joke or not. I don't take credit for it, but I tell the story. I remember I was at a bar with JD from New York one day, and I told him this story. I said, for those of you guys that have been with the channel for a while, you guys remember I used to have this little thing where I had a talking plant, Mitch, and we had little Anger, and he would get pissed off at the bad booking, and Anger would try to jump because he didn't want to listen to a Raw review. So I had all these little things that I brought to life. Mitch the Plant, Anger, you name it. And a few months later, all of a sudden, Bray comes out with a Firefly Funhouse. And all of a sudden, these things are coming to life. Huskus the Pig, you got a fucking witch in the background. I think I saw a cactus move at one point inside the fun. Who knows? But, so I always tell the story, like, I don't know. I think Bray maybe was influenced by the Amplified Man. But, of course, that's in fun. I don't take the credit for it. But it's always a funny story that I talk about. I always would bring things to life on set. And all of a sudden, Bray did this whole thing where everything's coming to life. And I just loved it. I loved it. So anyway, that's just a side story. I could probably tell you a million. But Jane Donnelly, when you say he's a creative genius, man, he really is. Whether he took that idea from BC or not, he's a creative genius personified. Prime Killer, 2-spot, first inductee of next year's WWE Hall of Fame. R.I.P. Bray. No question, Prime Killer. I feel the same way. You don't even wait a year on this. And soon, I hope Paul Levesque McMahon is correct next time, and he says WWE Hall of Famer Mike Rotunda. I hope he does induct Mike Rotunda into the Hall of Fame, because he does. That shouldn't just be a mistake. That should be real. He should be a Hall of Famer. I believe IRS did enough in this business to be in that Hall of Fame. Not just WWE, by the way. If you followed Mike Rotunda, there was a career before World Wrestling Entertainment. So I'm boggled that he's not in the Hall of Fame. Alan Christensen, 5-spot. Still doesn't seem real. I love that dude so much. I named my 2-year-old son after him, Brayson. Bray for short. R.I.P. Windham. Well, the best thing you can do, Alan, is always tell Brayson stories about Bray and show Brayson his stories, his matches, his promos. Let Brayson know that that is what larger than life is in the business. Because sadly, by the time Brayson grows up, I don't know who is going to be deemed larger than life. Alan Christensen. We're all with you on that, bro. Maximus Sage, 5-spot coffee. Life is fragile. Never take it for granted. For me, 2 of my top wrestling moments were Bray versus Bryan at the Rumble and Wyatt's versus The Shield. R.I.P. Bray. Yeah, that's always going to stand the test of time. Those are the 2 that a lot of people just go back and they've watched. I always say this, right? For everybody that says this is what works in pro wrestling and this doesn't. This is larger than life BC. That's not. This is awesome and that supernatural shit sucks. Well, I can tell you that there's been several matches of Bray Wyatt's that people have went back and watched many times. And there's many flippin' dives and 5-star Meltzer matches that people did not go back and watch a second time. And they yelled, "This is awesome," and "Fight Forever" 100 times during the match. Meltzer gave it 7 stars, maybe. But they never really went back and watched it a second time. Shield versus the Wyatt family. I know many people that have watched that maybe 13, 14 times, bare minimum. Do you guys remember Wyatt family Daniel Bryan, steel cage, when he turned on the Wyatt family? I believe he was concussed at the time, and he still pulled off one of the best segments in WWE history. Bray Wyatt and Daniel Bryan at the time, inside, I believe, the cage. And I always remember Daniel Bryan in those blue overalls, and he gets out of them. I believe he was concussed at the time, but he still finished that segment. Maximus Sage, 2 of the classics of Bray Wyatt, man. And if you want more memories, I'm not saying Randy Orton and Bray at WrestleMania was like an iconic match that you'll go back and watch a million times, but the atmosphere, the electricity that Bray Wyatt and Alexa Bliss, I'll throw her in there, and Orton, takes 2, in this case 3 to tango. But you guys go back to that Mania. JR9 in the chat, or anybody, what Mania was that? I'm getting Manias a little mixed up here. Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt when Alexa Bliss was on the Jack in the Box. What Mania was that, guys? I'm on a little bit of a delay. 37, JR9 Gaming. I appreciate that, brother. WrestleMania 37, so a little more than 2 years ago. Yeah, a little more than 2 years ago, guys. One of the best moments in WrestleMania history for BC, because you get goosebumps. It was when Wyatt is face-to-face with Alexa, who's up on the Jack in the Box. Orton is behind Wyatt, of course. He's about to take an RKO, unfortunately. But you look and you listen to the crowd. And it was just a vindicative moment right there, right? A validating, I should say. A validating moment for Bray Wyatt. For all the naysayers, for all the shit that he puts up with, that crowd, palm of his hands, the most interested they were in the entire WrestleMania. He had the whole world in his hands. Phenomenal. So there's so many moments and matches you can go back and just relive for Bray Wyatt, man. I mean, he was only in this company for 10 years, but I will tell you this. He left a career's worth and a lifetime's of memories. So that's the cool thing. We have so much that we can still go back on and check out. Anthony Boley, 10 spot. Windham Rotunda. An uber creative mind and one of the best wrestlers of all time. R.I.P. Bray Wyatt. You were gone too soon, and you will be missed sorely. Sir, God bless. Anthony Boley, perfectly said, brother. Strict Tango, 2 spot. I'm heartbroken and still processing. R.I.P. Windham. We all are, brother. Strict Tango, appreciate it. Jack Brewer, 20 spot. Bunch of coffees to the channel, and I appreciate that, guys, but make sure that if there is a donation set up for the Rotunda family, make sure that you guys are throwing any extra coffee money you may have. Make sure it's going over to the right place, man. I appreciate it here, but it's not needed. JoJo could really, one day, maybe in the distant future, hopefully, but she'll tell you she's very grateful for it. Every dollar. So make sure that you guys are showing that some love. But Jack Brewer, I appreciate the 20 spot, man. First, Jay Briscoe, my favorite on ROH. Mine too, one of my 2 favorite tag teams, the Usos and the Briscoe brothers. Jack Brewer says, and now Bray Wyatt, my favorite on WWE. Still can't believe Bray is gone. It hit like a ton of bricks. What a creative genius he was, and it still hurts. It's still hard to accept this passing. It's probably because we can't even process it yet, Jack Brewer. A lot of you guys are saying the same thing, like Jack and so many others, talking about how he's a creative genius. That's the best way to put it. And that's why him and Vinnie Mac butted heads a lot. You know, back in the day, if you're not a little bit older, you don't know this, but Vince McMahon, man, he did a lot of smart shit, and he put wrestling, man, did he do some amazing shit. And now he sees Bray Wyatt rocking out, and they just kind of butted heads a lot. And Paul Levesque McMahon, he just doesn't know what to do with Bray Wyatt at all. He admitted that. He's like, I don't even know what to do with this guy. This is what I mean. I mean, H can just be clueless, man. And I just wish they just had them together. Vinnie Mac, Paul Levesque McMahon, everybody just had better vision for how his booking could have went. Because the booking was good. The matches when he would lose was just detrimental. And somebody has to be in that company and say, no, you can't do this. That's left field with a hockey stick, man. You guys keep saying he's a creative genius, and it's almost frustrating because you're so right. And at 36 years old, what would the next 10, 20, 30 years of creativity been from Bray Wyatt? Maggie, thanks for stopping in for a little bit. I know I wanted to keep this within an hour, but you guys have a lot to say as well, so there's a lot of supers, and I want to make sure that I'm giving a shout-out to every single one of them so that they can be heard as well. So, Maggie, I appreciate you. Jack Brewer, I appreciate you, man, and you are so true, man. And it's just so right. Ozzy Edwards, man, 20 spot as well. Salute to Ozzy Edwards, who says, honoring Bray Wyatt tonight is what's best for business. It's the only way to go about business. It's the only way. 2 hours of celebrating Bray Wyatt. And make sure that Terry Funk gets that love too. But the 2 hours, the whole thing should be Bray Wyatt. WTFF boy, 199, 2-spot, just as shocking as Eddie Guerrero. I'm so hurt, R.I.P. King. Should get the treatment of such. That's what I mean, you know? And that void, like Eddie Guerrero, is that's. I hope you guys understand. That's going to be like Bray for most of us, for most of the wrestling world, especially the brothers and sisters that shared that ring with him. It's going to be like an Eddie Guerrero situation. It was for Bray with Brody, by the way. You guys remember Brody Lee, Luke Harper. What was he, 41? I'm putting JR9, my right-hand man on the chat. I'm putting JR9 Gaming to work. I think he was 41. I think he was a little older than Bray when he passed. Or is he 41 now? No, I think he was 41 when he passed. Well, somebody can correct me in the chat, but I think he was like 41 when he passed. But that was a void that Bray never got over, guys. Yeah, Robert, Bray was 36, but but Luke Harper was not. Brody was not 36. I think he was 41 when he passed. Bray Wyatt is 36. Big difference. But he never, that void still remained with him, and it was like when Benoit and many others would talk about Eddie Guerrero, it was like you could tell that void just hurt him so much. And with Windham, with Bray, the void of Brody was just so massive. In the wrestling world, man, still to this day, people can't really comprehend with Brody. Eddie Guerrero somehow is on another level with just that void. Bray Wyatt will be that void. 41. Brody was 41 when he passed. Okay, yeah. So he was a little bit older than Bray, 5 years, but still way too young with a guy that talented. Anyway, WTFF boy, no doubt. Thestral's Shadow, 5-spot. Thestral's Shadow. Bray was a brilliant creative genius. Again, I mean, you guys are right, man. Who had so much more to give. Every time he was on the screen, it was like stepping back into the Attitude Era, R.I.P. It's funny you say that. Maybe that's why BC was so captivated by him. I loved the Attitude Era. Every Monday night, it was must-see TV. You had the last channel button ready, Raw on one, and you press that button, you went to WCW Nitro. Monday Night Football was the third wheel. It didn't even make the cut. I'd have to really think about Monday Night Football because Nitro and Raw was captivating top to bottom. And maybe that's why I see so much in Bray Wyatt, larger than life. You actually cared when this dude was on the TV. 1, 2, 3, or 5 segments. You wanted to see Bray Wyatt. So it's funny you say that, or interesting, I should say, because it's so true. And Austin Thory, 5-spot. R.I.P. Bray. His work was somewhat based off of broken Matt Hardy. Remember when Matt returned and they were a tag team in the vignettes? I do, and they were really close. Matt Hardy actually has a lot of good ideas too. He has a lot of wacky ones as well, but Matt Hardy isn't afraid to step outside the box. And when Matt put that broken universe and world into Bray Wyatt's wacky world, man, there was so much more you could have done with that. Not saying that I needed to see them two together, but there's more you could have done. I think that totally scared VKM and HHH. Like, hold on. We got to put a lid on this. Darian Romero, 2-spot, rest in paradise to a true legend personified. Darian Romero. Absolutely. Joker, 2-spot. Appreciate it, Joker. And Austin Theory, 5-spot. Bray's uncle Barry Windham almost died too last week of a heart failure. Correct. Barry Windham had it very rough as of late. Joker, 2-spot. He's got the whole world in his hands. R.I.P. Bray. No doubt, man. Well, now, way up there, hopefully he does have the whole world in his hands. If he's not locked up right now with Luke. With Big Brody. Maybe he's fucking locked up with Brody right now, man. You never know. Right? Just having a little exhibition match. They're not in a cage. SOS TDM 617 2-spot. RIP Bray. Shake my head. Life's too short. I miss you guys. SOS. Much appreciation, man. Ozzy Edwards, 5-spot coffee. Those are the stories that just warms your heart. Ozzy, yeah, and I know I told a few Bray stories outright, and we went over a few of his brotherhood that told some stories as well, but there's so many with somebody like Bray. That's the thing. And on one hand, it's what keeps the legacy alive and will, and on the other hand, it's what makes it so damn hard to process, because he gave you so much to talk about and so many stories. Ozzy Edwards, appreciate you, man. Joker, 716. Joker, 716, 2-spot. I really appreciated your Wyatt tribute yesterday. Oh, Joker, I appreciate that, man. That went up late. I just felt there was no way that I could do a podcast or say anything at that time. Like I said, the only reason I was around the office studio, business. And then I get that news and I'm like, oh, I have to just show my support to the family, my way of creatively showing that love. I do it usually when with these situations, and no matter how late it was, I just wanted to put that out there. And I'm glad that a lot of you guys really enjoyed that. It puts things in perspective, man. So Joker 716, I appreciate that, man. Unique Butterfly, 5-spot coffee, just clocked in at work, lights on, but no one home, running on Steam. Trying to make this money. All I can say is shocked and distraught. Make that money, Unique. Kick ass, stay amplified. Make sure your head's on straight. Think clearly. And then when you have a moment, it's going to come in increments, right? A little here, a little there, you'll start to try to process this type of news. Unique Butterfly, it's always good to see you up in here. I know there was some super chats, maybe super thankses, I believe, in the uploads that I just put up. I put up a podcast yesterday and then the tribute video last night. And I know there was a ton of super thankses. Guys, I either caught them all or will absolutely. But that's going to take some time to go over as well. But I know Unique Butterfly, you sent a couple of them. So I appreciate you on that as well. Unique Butterfly. William F. 5-spot. What's up, William F? Good to see you up in here, man. Thank you for talking about Bray. I knew I missed him, but you helped me remember how special he was. And it's not even hard for me to do that, William F. I just think about the dude and I just start sprouting out stories, matches, promos he had, how he made you feel. So you're welcome, William F. But now we're just going to do our part now and make sure that those stories carry on, right? Make sure that we all tell, if you have kids coming up through the pipeline, grandchildren, whatever it is, if they ever get into wrestling, you make sure they know and they look to right. Mick Foley said this about Funk, man. I want you to check out some Funk matches and really appreciate them. Well, I hope everybody does that with Bray Wyatt as well. And again, Takara Turner with a 2-spot. The wrestling world has lost a true genius. Yeah, sometimes that word gets passed around a lot, genius, but this is a real creative genius, man, whether you liked his work or not. Otis Linkman, 5-spot coffee. Otis, not to sound cliche, but Bray's mind for wrestling was literally one of a kind. Nobody did it like him. Otis, it's exactly what you're so right, man. We pass around the word genius a lot. We always say this person is one of a kind. This person's amazing, right? We got so used to it. Even in wrestling matches, 60 seconds into a match, with just one good sequence, the crowd is already chanting, this is awesome. You can't go above awesome, right? We pass around words so easily. But Bray Wyatt was literally a creative genius. He just was. Man, if more wrestlers tell you a story, and they will, you're going to hear a lot more of his, because I've already heard a lot of these stories. A lot of his brothers and sisters that he shared that ring with or was in those walls with, they're going to tell you just how creative he was, just how much of a genius. And you may hear those stories tonight, hopefully. Otis Linkman, for sure, bro. Godswilla, 5-spot. Godswilla says, it literally feels like yesterday when he came back at Extreme Rules last year. This loss hurts, and I don't think I can fully comprehend it. Godswilla, I hear you. It seems like yesterday we were doing the Muscle Man dance. And a lot of the vocal minority was crying, oh no, not the Muscle Man dance. And I was on this channel and I go, I don't mind the Muscle Man dance at all. I didn't understand where they were going with Bobby Lashley and Bray. I don't think the company knew. Paul Levesque McMahon was just lost with, at least Vinnie Mac he would have him lose at the big matches, but at least booked him more private. Let Bray book himself at least. Paul Levesque just didn't know how to take Bray Wyatt, and that was a big problem. And then you add this on top of it, nobody really understood the Bobby Lashley thing. But I can tell you that no matter where I was, I'll do the Muscle Man dance. If Bray Wyatt says do the Muscle Man dance, I don't care if I'm just getting out of the gym or not. I don't care if the delts are popping off or it's arm day, leg day. BC gonna do the Muscle Man dance because Bray said so. But it seems like yesterday that I think Bobby was, I just have this, it was one of the last times that you saw Bray. Bobby was going up the ramp and Bray was on the Titantron and he was doing the Muscle Man dance. And it just, like you said, Godswill, it seems like yesterday on that. Stacy Brown, 5-spot coffee. I was celebrating my birthday yesterday when I found out that he passed away. Stacy, happy birthday. You share a birthday with Vinnie Mac. I don't know what that says, that Vinnie Mac is celebrating a birthday when Bray Wyatt passes away, but Stacy turned another year older. Salute, Stacy. BC's birthday week as well. We're supposed to be celebrating this weekend, but a lot of business to take care of, so we're going to postpone the birthday trip. But Stacy Brown, that's not the news that you want when you're trying to celebrate something like a birthday. Stacy Brown, good to see you up in here. Dave's up in here. Dave Mealy, 5-spot. Bray Firefly Funhouse match with Cena will always be a small yet incredible sample of his unmatched creativity. Dave, I'm glad you brought that up. Still to this day, a lot of people pan that because they didn't understand it. To this day, John Cena says that one match is something that'll always stand out to me, and it brought so much out of me. And he says that it things he never even thought imaginable. He said Bray helped him be a better performer. So I'm going to take John Cena's words on that more than the fans that just didn't like it because they didn't understand it. And again, you can say that the supernatural exposes the business and it shouldn't have a place in pro wrestling. That's fine. But I feel that you shouldn't be able to do 17 super kicks, 7 Canadian destroyers, a 450, 760 Hurricanrana splash from the top rope 12 times, and the opponent kicks out at 2 1/4. And then 2 seconds later, they're jumping up doing their moves. No selling, no in-ring psychology, but the fans are yelling, this is awesome, because they're seeing all these sequences. People like BC says that exposes the business. So, there you go. 2 wrongs don't make a right. I say we can have our cake and eat it too. You guys can get all your ooh and ah matches. Let's just put larger-than-life characters in there. Let's put storylines that we actually care about, and let's get really good matches with every other box checked off. Why can't we just have everything, man? There's no reason we shouldn't. Dave Mealy. I'm glad you brought that up, Dave. Big Nang, 5-Spot Coffee. Damn, I wish and thought he'll be the one to dethrone the tribal chief, and now my wish got taken away. Big Nang, yeah, imagine that. I believe Roman is the one that took it from Bray, isn't it? I think Roman Reigns took the title from Bray, and ever since, Roman has held that Universal Championship. Rendell Bright, the supernatural is entertainment. Absolutely. That's all we're trying to say, man. And pro wrestling is entered. It just is, man. I don't know why a sector of fans is just so hung up on saying that's a sports entertainer and that's a pro wrestler. Why can't I like and enjoy MJF and Bray Wyatt? Why can't I enjoy? You guys know I praise Kenny Omega, and that may be a hot take. Some of you guys may not like Kenny Omega. That's fine. I see so much potential in Kenny Omega. I wish he wasn't an EVP in AEW because he would have been booked much better. They feel they have to hinder themselves because they have a title. Why can't I enjoy Kenny Omega and his 5-star bangers and then go and watch Bray Wyatt? Why can I not do that? Why does one have to ridicule the other? Why can't we try to find a way to mesh the two? That's what I preach. Let's mesh it. It's entertainment. The day that we started looking at pro wrestling like it's supposed to just be a real sport, when we know it's predetermined, pre-planned, it's scripted, it's rehearsed, it's entertainment, and all of a sudden we're looking at two dudes that are barely hitting 6 feet tall, and I mean barely, if even, both 185 pounds soaking wet, both have the same black trunks on, and both can do the same moves they've been performing in their backyard on the trampoline for 17 years. And then we're supposed to watch for cool moves and sequences and wait for Meltzer to put a star system on it. No, some of us fans need more than that. We need larger than life character. We need to feel something. We need to care about what we're watching. I need to give a shit about the match that is being performed. Why do I care about these two in the ring? Because they're doing cool moves? Or should I be caring about this? Is this setting up something good for the pay-per-view? Is there a storyline that's intriguing? Is the characters through the roof? That's why on this channel, we don't sugarcoat, we don't bullshit. We take what's positive on all these shows, right? Whether it's AEW. If I come across Impact Wrestling and I see something I like, I'm going to talk about it. I wasn't able to watch all of Dynamite Wednesday. What did I tell you guys in yesterday's podcast? I think it was yesterday's, right? Thursday, yeah. I fucking praised Will Ospreay. I was able to catch like fucking 3 minutes of Dynamite. Will Ospreay rocked the microphone. But everybody just looks at Ospreay as a dude who does cool moves. No, you didn't know. Ospreay can rock the microphone, which means Ospreay can carry storylines, which means Ospreay is going to be something entirely fun for all of us here in the States. Should we start seeing him more? You can have your cake and eat it too. We need to start training these wrestlers how to be more than one-dimensional and not just a carbon copy of one another off of a wrestling assembly line like it's an Amazon distribution center. Everybody looks the same, talks the same, wrestles the same. Where are the characters, the personalities? Why do I not feel like anybody cares? Bray Wyatt had a personality, a character. He was unique. Whether you loved him or not, you stopped what you were doing and you listened and watched everything he did. Tribalism today, right? Tribalism. If you love WWE and you don't even watch AEW, it's fuck AEW. If you just love AEW and you can't stand WWE, fuck WWE. If you talk good about one and you don't like it, then you're just a fanboy, right? That's all it is. It's tribalism, right? If you don't diss Vince McMahon and praise Paul Levesque, you're part of the problem. No, you can't just call them both out and say, hey, both of them are pretty stupid right now. Both of them are pretty dumb and producing really bad. Did you see Monday Night Raw? It's already been confirmed Paul Levesque McMahon had his hands on a lot of that shit. The Tommaso vignettes, all that, the Shayna Baszler promo, all them. Why can't we just say what is actually working and what is not? Stop the tribalism shit. All the shit that Bray Wyatt took, he didn't give a fuck. It wasn't going to change him. But Bray Wyatt should not have gotten that much shit for just trying to entertain you. Trying to give you something creatively unique and everybody took a shit on him? Come on, man. Jacqueline Robinson, 5-Spot Coffee. My dream match was Undertaker versus Bray. Bray going to be heavily missed. R.I.P. Bray. In a way, wrestling was dead or has died yesterday. Yeah, I don't know what's going to captivate me like Bray Wyatt. I can't even turn to like somebody for the ladies like Sasha Banks. I can't even look at Mercedes Moné. She's out with an injury, and when I am able to catch her, it's at some wild hour over in Japan. Jacqueline Robinson, I appreciate it. I don't know who's larger than life that we're going to care about. Michael Anthony, 3-Spot BC. Happy birthday. Feeling for JoJo. I appreciate the birthday shout out, Michael Anthony, big time. And yeah, for JoJo, that's where all of our thoughts are, man, right now. With JoJo and those kids. Michael Anthony, good to see you up in here, by the way. Strict Tango, 2-Spot. Bray Taker and the Attitude Era Ministry of Darkness would have been epic. Oh, could you imagine? Yeah, way ahead of his time. Bray Wyatt would have fit in masterfully in the Attitude Era with the things they were getting away with and what Vince Russo would have allowed Bray to do. Top notch. Strict Tango. Willie Parker, 2-Spot. Thank you, Willie Parker. Richard Jr. Richard Jr. with a 5-Spot says Io Sky could defend the title against Shotzi at WWE Payback. Possibly, and maybe Bailey would, and Bailey would still be inserted there. Richard Jr. Possibly. A little off topic, but hey, appreciate the coffee, and that is an interesting take. Big Nang, and Possible too, by the way. Big Nang, another 5-Spot coffee, says just a disappointment of 2 mediocre WWE title reigns for Bray. Wish he wasn't done that dirty and filthy. He deserves way much better. This company always takes somebody who deserves a lot and gives them shit. Sasha Banks, Naomi. Naomi had 2 title reigns. One because it was Black History Month, the other because they were in Orlando, her hometown. Look at her booking afterwards. And I always say this, Charlie Flair walks around with 14 title reigns in 8 years. 10 years for Naomi, 2. Really short, and we know why. Why was Naomi never handed that rocket? That's another podcast. We've talked about that a million times, but it goes with what Big Nang says. You can look at Bray and say he deserved longer title reigns, but that's what happened. The booking for Bray was always pretty damn good. A lot of it was from Bray's own mastermind. Brewster Pritchard let him get away with it. Vince McMahon was talked in to let him get away with it. And then when he was supposed to win some big matches, they decided it was best if he lost them. And that's where Bray was drastically hurt a bunch of times. But Bray also, Big Nang, I won't bullshit either, right? I'm not going to contradict myself. Bray is one of those characters that never needed a title either, though, like The Undertaker. If you guys remember the first several years of The Undertaker's career in WWE, he was nowhere near the title. There was one couple day period. It was around Survivor Series, and I think he lost it at Tuesday Night in Texas. Or he won it Tuesday night and lost it, or something like that. But he held it for like a few days. But it was just a fluke. Other than that, the first several years, Undertaker was just one of the most captivating, larger-than-life dudes, and you didn't even let him sniff a title, because he didn't need it. Bray Wyatt was that badass. He was that good. He was that larger-than-life. He was that captivating. He didn't even need a title. Colin with a 2-Spot. Remember the Wyatt family versus The Shield? I do. We were talking about how that's one of those matches a lot of people go back and watch a lot. And that's what I mean about larger than life. You are much more inclined to go back and watch a match more than once. And in today's generation, today's world, today's spectrum of where everybody's dome piece is at and their lack of just their attention span. You know, going back and watching something twice, you know, that doesn't sound too appetizing to many people. But yeah, Shield and the Wyatt family, I can't tell you how many people say they've watched that a bunch of times. And many other Bray matches as well. John Gray, 7-month membership. I appreciate that, John Gray. BC, I'm an OG member. Salute, 7-month membership. We've only had membership for 8 months. So I think you're an OG subscriber as well. So I appreciate you, John Gray. Trey or Terry and Dory Funk. Now Bray will salute them later with a drink in their memory. Thanks, BC, for the love. Love your show. Oh, thanks, BC. Love the show. John Gray, I appreciate you, dude. And yeah, all my coffees today, that's going to be in salute to Bray, no doubt, man. I appreciate the membership. I appreciate your words. Make sure I got everybody, man. Just making sure I got everybody, guys. Hold on one sec. Sometimes the membership shout-outs, if I don't catch them up front, they don't come back for some reason. I think I got it. If I missed anybody, guys, obviously I'll get you on the very next podcast. But it looks like that's good to go. So up in the live chat, I just want to thank you guys for shooting the shit with BC and talking Bray Wyatt, man. James Miller, Steven, Darren, JR9 Gaming, obviously, Rendell, Steve-O, Strict Tango, Santivia Major, Buddy, Wrestling is Art, Mikey, Adrienne Black, Sir Charles, Pimp Jesus, and everybody. I can't do a whole roll call, but I appreciate every single one of you guys up in the chat, man. DJ is a prodigy, 8-month gold card channel membership. I appreciate you, dude. DJ is a prodigy. The full 8 months that we've had membership, he's been on board. Bray Wyatt is special. One of the few people that can get every version of himself over. R.I.P. to Bray Wyatt and reuniting with Luke Harper. Brody Lee. DJ is a prodigy, no doubt, dude. Pile Driver Finisher was up in here. Carlos Ray, as I said earlier, always good to see Carlos. TKG, Jane Donnelly, of course, Deshaun Sanders, Clint, Unknown, Blicky, Brandy, Brian. Some of these are moving fast, my bad. Robert Hurt, Jacqueline Robinson, Jeffrey, appreciate you, bro. Thank you, Jeffrey. Eric Newton. I did get your 7-month Eric Newton. If I didn't read it, my bad. I don't have it up now. I did see it, though. Eric Newton, I appreciate you, dude. You know that. I think I did read it, though, at some point in this hour and 40 minutes. That was supposed to be 1 hour. Big Nang, William F. Salute. Jeremy, you know it, dude. Ozzy Edwards. And, yeah, I'll be here another. Eddie Brash. Check you, bro. So we'll be here another hour if I do a full roll call. But I thank you guys, man. This is something that I just knew I had to carve out some time and talk about this with you guys, because this is and forever will be a Bray Wyatt channel. I will always talk about that dude in the best of lights. If some people don't like that, that's tough. Thankfully, there's other things you can listen to or watch or go play in traffic, whichever you want. But we will always talk positively about that son of a bitch, because he is I'm not saying he is one of the best we have ever seen in this industry, and nobody will be able to touch Windham Rotunda. It's just the way that it is, man. And our strength, our prayers, our love, our support, anything that we could possibly give is with JoJo and those kids right now. Wyatt's family. We'll find out more. I don't know if we even need to or want to, but we'll talk more about this, obviously, in future podcasts. But for tonight, I'm hoping SmackDown does the right thing. Scrap all the plans, and let's do 2 hours of Bray Wyatt. Give a big salute over to Terry Funk, obviously, but this needs to be a tribute to Bray Wyatt, because if anybody deserves it, and I hate that word in pro wrestling because we say everybody deserves something, it's got to be Bray Wyatt. Carlos, thank you, brother. I appreciate you, Carlos, man. Thanks for stopping the whole hour and 4. I was not planning on keeping you guys here this long, man. There was just a lot to talk about. Sometimes I may have ran in circles, I know. And then we get sidetracked with some side topics that have to do with Bray, but it kind of gets you a little bit frustrated, and you know, with subjects like this, you kind of get all over the place. So, yeah, if I went all over the place a little bit, that's what's going to happen, you know? Salute to you guys, man. Thank you, Wyatt, indeed, bro. Thank you, Wyatt, indeed. And whether you're too cool for it or not, you're all going to do the muscle man dance right now. Put up those bicep emojis, man. It ain't for BC this time. And I'm not going to the gym till about fucking midnight tonight anyway, probably. Or 10, what is it, 10 o'clock tonight? I don't know. It's not for BC. Put up those biceps for Bray Wyatt. It's the muscle man dance that you were too cool to do when he asked you to do it when he was here with us. Well, now he can look down if he's already done with his match with Brody. If the match is over, he can look down and see the muscle man dance. There you go. There you go. Pull up your pants and do the muscle man dance. I love it. There you go, man. Bray Wyatt, Windham Rotunda taught us something. Put your humility to the side, man. Put your ego to the side. Put your coolness to the side. Relax. It ain't that serious, bro. It's pro wrestling. There's bigger things in life. And he wasn't afraid to just be stupid sometimes and do some off-the-wall zany shit. Thank you, guys. Thank you for pulling up your pants and doing the muscle man dance. In all seriousness, we have some fun with it, but I'm going to miss this dude like you would not believe. This is a Bray channel for the reasons I just mentioned the last hour and 42 minutes. It will always be a Bray Wyatt channel. I will miss this motherfucker always. Pro wrestling will never be the same without him. On this channel for sure and how we view it. But we will always talk about him and of him in the most best of ways and lights. I promise you that. And we will make sure as a community, we will make sure that JoJo and his kids never have a need for the rest of their existence. We will make sure of that as a community. Absolute legend. Absolute creative genius. Larger than life. Gone way too soon. But can never be touched. Gone too soon, physically here, but forever in our conversations. Forever on a pedestal. John Hem, welcome to the Amplified unit, dude. John Hem just earned his gold card. He is part of the Amplified unit. We just gained another member. And for other members that have joined that I wasn't able to see live, welcome to the new channel members, man. I hope you love Bray Wyatt, because we will continue to talk about him even though he's not physically here. Salute, guys. I'm going to wrap it up there, man. Otherwise, I'll just be talking in circles. Salute. I'm going to down the rest of this finally and then go get more, conduct all the business I have to, and maybe at some point we can start the process. This. So keep your heads up, guys. Bray would want you to. He wants his family to. He wants you to stay strong, man. And we will, I don't even know. Much love and respect, guys. It's a Bray Wyatt. Let me give a proper one. Salute. Bray Wyatt, Windham Rotunda, we love you, man. To JoJo, one of the most beautiful ladies in the world. I've never seen a woman that beautiful. To JoJo, to the kids, you guys will never have a need, man. We are going to make sure of that so that Bray never has a worry way up there. Check, you guys. Salute. Salute.